What's up, Guardians? Welcome to Strand 2 of DNA Weekly Strike, DNA's weekly Destiny show. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dierig. Here with me, as always, on this journey for you to become legend is Brian Anderson. What's up, Brian?
What's up, Corey? How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Been doing a lot of prep, doing a lot of research on the last episode. We had 71 people watch our video.
Last episode was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of audio listens too, so thank you all for your support. This is something we've been wanting to do for a while now, so thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, all that stuff. One thing we're going to bring back from the podcast proper is, we always ask, what have we been playing? Well, we're going to apply it to Destiny here. Brian, I know you're a big Trials player. What do you think of that mix-up in Trials?
Part of me really enjoyed it. I liked how you didn't know what map you're going to get next, and you were able to change your weapons up, where instead you'd be stuck playing Cauldron all weekend, which would get a little boring after a while. You'd run the same loadout every time. It was kind of nice being able to wait and see what the map is and then change your weapons accordingly. But part of me didn't like it, only because I didn't get to play the maps that I liked the most a lot, and maybe it's just bad luck, but Pantheon, Burning Shrine, I didn't get to play those a lot. I got a lot of Cauldron, and I can't remember what the other one's called on Mars, but I got stuck on that one all the time. Yeah. So it was kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I didn't do too much Trials, but what I did do, I ran a lot of Prison of Elders with friends this weekend, I had a couple keys to waste, so I went through, didn't do 35 skull loss. Also had a few friends run through the weekly Nightfall and the heroic strikes, so did a lot of that. Did a little Crucible.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Not, you know me, I'm not good at that.
You just kind of have to get your feet wet. You can't just dive right into Crucible. It's kind of a different world than the PvE.
Yeah, my thing is, after we recorded last week's episode, we went and played a ton of Destiny, and
yes,
I got a few.
Yes, we did.
I got a few exotics.
Yep.
And this weekend I got new heavy that I want to try out. I have Galahorn, but I got these other exotics that I need to level up.
Yeah, you actually got a second Galahorn.
I did.
Which was, 1,300 hours over here, one Galahorn. I don't know how many you've played. Probably not nearly as many.
No,
and you have two.
I think I've locked about 35.
Oh God, that's tough to hear, but that's RNG. That's just how it is, I guess.
Yeah, so I got that second galley. You watched me dismantle it. I told a lot of people about
that. Actually, was painful. That was hard to watch. Someone dismantle a Galahorn, but you need exotic charts. Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I do. That's why I dismantled it. So I actually told a guy that I work with about a Galahorn because he's been playing it almost as long as you have, maybe not as many hours.
The hunt is real, I'll tell you that.
He doesn't have Galahorn yet. I was like, I just dismantled a Galahorn. I think he wanted to stab me or something. But
it's not something to brag about. I know some people will be online and I'll play with them and they'll, I've gotten 6 or 7. Don't brag about it. All right, there's a lot of people who don't have one, so just be kind to your fellow Guardians and lie. Tell them you've only gotten one. Make them feel better.
Right. So, all right, we're going to move into our topic of the week, which is reforging weapons. Now, for those of you who don't know, reforging weapons is when you want to change your weapon's perks and start with a clean slate on a weapon. When you reforge a weapon, the base stats don't change, but the perks and the rolls have a chance of changing. And a lot of people wrote into us about this. I know your brother asked us about this. But reforging weapons will remove all of the Ascension you do and will not refund you with Etheric Light. And all weapons can be reforged from Iron Banner, and most of the House of Wolves legendary weapons can be reforged.
I actually think that if you ascend a weapon and then you reforge it, it actually keeps the 365 damage, so you don't that Etheric Light's still on there, but it will completely wipe out any progression you've done on the gun so far, perk wise. It'll just wipe out what you've already done.
I haven't had a chance to reforge any weapons, but I know you've probably
I've reforged
a million.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah, so we're gonna go in. A lot of people have been asking, how do I reforge a weapon? Is it live? Is it a thing where you can reforge weapons for PvP and then reforge it again for PvE? The same weapon. So, Brian, I know this is kind of your area of expertise, so why don't you go into it?
Well, first thing I want to start and talk about is that reforging weapons isn't completely brand new to this DLC. You actually were always able to do it with your Iron Banner weapons when you got one. You could only reforge it with the Iron Banner guy in the back end of the tower. That only opens up when Iron Banner's there. So it's been around for a long time. And I've always reforged, always looking to try to get the maximum damage or get the most out of a weapon. And this has really opened it up, because before this DLC, you would get weapon drops from Crucible or Running Strikes, and they would have perks on them that could change. If we could get the same weapon from a Nightfall, let's say a legendary pulse rifle, and they would have different perks.
Right.
We couldn't change them, and it was kind of nice because that weapon felt real special, especially if you got one dropped to you that had the perks that you wanted. It was really hard to do. But then on the other end of that, I remember being in some Crucible matches and being very jealous of guys who I think he had a 3 Little Words, which was a pulse rifle, and he just had the sickest build on that thing, and I could never get one to drop that way.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they came out with this reforging to kind of, again, Destiny loves to balance things out. Well, at least try to balance things out. And they usually end up breaking it. But this is kind of a good way to do that. And we're kind of going to go through each and every weapon class, what you're looking for. And I know someone asked about PvE, PvP, and I'll kind of go over both of them.
A lot of people actually wrote in about PvP versus PvE and how you should reforge weapons.
And there is a completely different way that you should do it. You're looking for a lot of different things in both of those. So we can just jump right in and start with my favorite weapon in Destiny. Just start with the hand cannon.
Yeah, let's just jump right in. Let's do it.
So if you don't have an exotic hand cannon, which you don't, right?
I don't.
You don't, and that's definitely a gun that you want to use, especially in it's good in both. It's very, very effective. So we'll just jump right in and say that first slot, which is basically your sights on it, that's not really going to matter what you use. Usually, like True Shot, I think, is one. That one's not that big of a deal. The big one is that next row. We're going to just call it Tier 2. The ones that you're going to look for mainly, and one of my favorite is called Zen Movement, which is what it's going to do is when you cause damage, it's going to increase your stability, which is big, because those hand cannons will kick when you fire them.
Right.
If you do damage, that thing's going to start firing on a lot tighter line, and that can easily knock you off some headshots. And that's good in both. You can run that in PvP and PvE. Now, PvP, that's the one I think I would go with. This next one is one that people might not be crazy about in that same tier. It's Icarus, I think it's called. It's a newer perk from House of Wolves. And what it is when you're in the air, you have increased stability with the gun, which doesn't sound that great. But if you pair that with the Warlock Angel of Light, which is a completely underused skill, which is when you're in the air and you aim, you stay in the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in PvP, people are not expecting that to be used at all. Right. So you can really throw some people off because they're expecting you to jump and
especially
then fall.
Especially if they're predicting where you're going to land.
Exactly, because when people jump, what you're trying to do is predict where they're going to go, when they're going to land, so you can hit those headshots.
Right.
They pop that Angel of Light, all of a sudden you're aiming down and he stays there. He has the advantage.
Yeah.
So that's actually a pretty nasty setup to use on a hand cannon or anything with that perk. So you guys should really check out Angel of Light. It's really an underused perk because I think in that same line you have we can gain an additional grenade. So most people are going for that, which I don't blame them. 2 grenades is pretty nasty, but
yeah.
Angel of Light's definitely underused. And then another one in that first line for hand cannons, it's really only good for PvE, is Triple Tap. Triple Tap is when you rapidly land 3 precision shots, you get an extra one added into your mag. You're not going to get that in PvP too much unless you have sick hands.
Right.
It's going to be hard to land 3 quick, and then most of the time, I think they die with 2.
Yeah.
2 headshots, I'm pretty sure you're dead. So that one's pretty much worthless. But in PvE, that's really good.
Right.
You're going to land a lot of headshots, especially because those enemies are slow moving. So it's good for ammo. But in that first line, I think I would go Zen Movement. And then if you wanted to go a little something different, Icarus is definitely a good one. If you want to move over to the next one, we'll call that tier 3. We're just going to stick with that for all the weapons.
Awesome.
I'm going to say Snapshot is really any gun that has that you can put that on. I think it's like scout rifles, hand cannons. I think maybe pulse rifles. I'm not sure. Where you can aim quicker. Basically, is always an advantage in PvP. You want that. You want to be able to get your gun up faster, right?
Right.
So get those shots off quicker. That's the one I would go with. If you're playing PvE on the hand cannon, you really are more focused on increasing your reload speed. And the ones that would do that would be speed reload or flared mag. Both those are going to give you an increase in the reload, which is, you want to get those shots off quicker.
Right.
But not really. You could, if you get a good roll and you have that on for PvP, it's not the end of the world. You're still going to do well with it. Tier 4 is when you're going to start getting into some really good ones. And this one you're going to hear me say on almost every gun type. And it's called Army of One. It's really one of my favorite perks. Basically, if I get an unassisted kill, it's going to reduce the grenade and the melee cooldown. So every kill you get, you're going to get more grenades. You're going to get, melees, yeah. I don't really melee too much. I'm not very good with it. But grenades, oh man, that's huge. So every kill, you're killing that cooldown. And that's good in both. And so you're actually going to hear me say Army of One, I don't know how many times throughout this podcast today. It's really one of my favorite perks. Works well on almost everything. Yeah. Basically, anytime you get a kill,
Yeah, why not?
Right. Some other good ones, though, if you don't get Army of One, Hidden Hand is kind of it's a hidden perk almost, where it increases aim assist, which is that hitbox on the head. It basically helps you. Some people don't like it. Some people don't really like aim assist.
I do, because I'm not very good. But.
It's helpful, but sometimes there are situations where it will throw you off, where if you're aiming at someone and someone else runs across the screen, it's going to pull your gun.
Right.
So, and that's really the only time. But that's really good for PvP only. You don't want that in PvE. If you're only playing PvE, you really don't want Hidden Hand on any of your guns. You don't need it. But PvP, those Guardians are a lot harder to hit. They're moving a lot faster.
Yeah.
Any advantage you can get, you got to take it.
Right. They're always sprinting around.
Always sprinting, jumping.
Whereas if you're doing PvE, like the enemies you can track their patterns a little bit better, and they don't move. Often.
They kind of just walk right at you almost. Not all of them, but most of them are going to walk either left to right, back and forward. Every now and then, if you get the Vex, they'll teleport.
Yeah.
But you can pretty much track their movements. You don't need to worry about having a bigger hitbox on their criticals. They're pretty big already. And then if you're only playing PvE on that last one, Outlaw is fantastic. That's increased reload speed after precision kill. That's huge. And you would really want that on the slow reloading hand cannons, which I really want to talk about next. This is mostly for the Xbox users. Now, last week we talked about the Hawk Moon a lot and how you guys don't have one.
We talked a little bit about this before we started recording, and this is genius.
All right, I am calling this the Hawk Moon Junior. All right, for those of you who want a Hawk Moon, but either you can't get it or you haven't got one yet, here's a legendary substitute that I think it does a pretty good job of what you're trying to do. What you're going to need is either a gun like Ill Will, which I think drops in the Crucible. It's a high impact hand cannon. It's either the Crucible or a Strike. I think it's Crucible.
I think it's Crucible. But
the better choice is actually the Fulcrum, which is the Future War Cult hand cannon that you can buy from them once you get them up to level 3. What you're going to want to do then is roll this gun to have luck in the chamber in final round. That'll be your tier 2 and 4. You'll want, so that'll give you 2 extra bullets in your clip that are going to do extra damage. Then you also want to roll something like Small Bore, which is going to be your tier 3, and that's going to reduce your clip size. So what you're looking at, and I think on the Fulcrum that'll take it down to 5. So 2 of those 5 bullets, which is I think 40%, you have a 40% chance to hit one of those extra damage bullets. So the Hawk Moon is 3 out of 13. This is 2 out of 5. The one's final round, so you know where that one's going to hit.
Yeah.
But then you got, 2 out of 4. You got or 1 out of 4. You got a 25% chance out of those first 4 rounds hitting extra damage.
Yeah.
So I'm calling that the Hawk Moon Junior. Try it out. I think it's a good substitute for that gun as long as you have a high impact one. The only problem is you're going to be reloading a lot, so
yeah,
that's really the only issue. But I think that should become a thing.
If you're good enough with this hand cannon, you're going to get those shots off, and you're not going to be needing to worry too much about reload time.
No, I mean, if you're hitting right with this gun, you could drop 2 people max with one clip. That's, I mean, give or take.
Yeah.
1 for sure, but it's definitely. I would like to see like something like that because you don't see legendary hand cannons too much in Crucible. I mean, most people are going to be using Thorn or Last Word or Hawkmoon, but I would like to, and this is why we talked about last week the changes that are coming. I really think you're going to start seeing a whole wide variety of weapons used. It's going to be a lot cooler. So that's pretty much how your hand cannon builds. So that was my favorite weapon. How about we talk about my least favorite, the auto rifle, the dreadful auto rifle, which hopefully will change.
I have 3 now, 3 auto rifles.
Well, then you need to pay attention to this.
One is an exotic that I'm going to try to level up for when the
hard light, right?
Yeah,
hard light is. I mean, that's a sweet looking gun.
And it'll be better when this update comes out. So I've been trying to, I finally got a legendary heavy that I can roll.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to upgrade these other exotic weapons. So.
Yeah, we're just going to briefly talk about auto rifles because I haven't rolled one. I just get rid of them. But and that tier 1 again, your sights, red dot is pretty much what I'm. That's I don't. It's all preference there. I know there's one that has like a scope almost. I don't like those on my scout or my auto because they cut out too much of the screen. The red dot gives you a better, clearer picture of what's going on. In your next tier, I mean, I guess I would go crowd control, which is basically when you get a kill and your damage is buffed for a few seconds. I mean, you need all the help you can get on impact with those type of guns. If you have a fire or a high rate of fire, you're going to look more for focus fire in that one, which is when you aim in. The Suros regime has it, the focus fire. I think when you aim in, it slows fire, but it does more damage. So those are the 2 that I would go with in that first one. In the next tier, there's really nothing that's going to help you. Really, extended mag is what I would go with, I guess. Or armor-piercing rounds, something like that. It's going to stagger the enemy. There's really nothing there that's going to do anything. And then in the last tier, counterbalance for the stability, and then Army of One. There it is again. That's twice already.
Yeah.
That's good. But the only problem is you actually have to kill people for that to work, and I don't see that happening too much.
Yeah.
With that gun, you could also use Outlaw, I guess, to speed up that reload. But again, got to kill somebody. So good luck.
Yeah.
We'll go to scout rifles. You want to do scout rifles?
Yeah, I'm really into scout rifles.
I mean, that's like your weapon. I don't know if you've rolled. I think you got I can't remember which one you got. You got the Crucible one.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good one. And
I have the Crucible one because I like to roll shotguns. I know you like to roll snipers and hand cannons, but
snipers and hand cannons, yeah.
I kind of prefer the shotgun scout
rifle.
rifle.
Well, I have later when we talk about shotgun. I mean, the shotgun one's pretty straightforward. Everyone's rolling the same thing on that. Scout rifles, you're gonna red dot again on your sights. At least that's my preference. It's all. If you like something better, full auto is a great perk on your scout rifles. You definitely you get those shots out. I mean, some people can actually shoot faster just by tapping the trigger.
Right.
But I like full auto. You can just hold that trigger down. It's pretty similar to, the Vision of Confluence has full auto. That's the first time Scout Rifle had it, and that's really one of the best in the game. So you try to mimic that. Triple tap is good if you can't get full auto. Full auto is what you really need to go for either PvP, PvE, same thing. Triple tap, the one where you land the 3 precision. That one's okay for PvE. Rodeo is okay. Mostly you're going to look for full auto in that tier 2 is really the only option. Tier 3, I'll go snapshot for PvP. Aim quicker. You want that on guns that are Hawkmoon, hand cannons. You want to be able to aim fast, land those headshots quick, and get out of there. You could use high caliber rounds, but snapshot's really the only one in there. Tier 4, there's a lot of
I mean,
choices.
if you're hitting those headshots, you're not going to need.
Yeah, I mean, high caliber is more for PvE, just to stagger the enemies.
Yeah.
You're not going to stagger a Guardian, so. Again, Army of 1. If that's there, it's a good choice. Crowd control, also very good. Especially if you pair full auto and crowd control, you can really do some damage if you have a good magazine. So, you can drop that first guy, and you got a couple seconds of extra damage, so it's pretty decent. If you're playing PvE, though, you want Firefly.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the obvious choice for that last tier. There's nothing like shooting a guy in the head and watching him taking out 3 guys with one shot. It's pretty cool. Not PvP. Do not use that. It doesn't work. It doesn't, unless we're this close together and I have no life, that Firefly's not going to kill me. My favorite PvP perk, though, is Third Eye. Leaves that radar up when you're aiming in.
Oh man,
you can
just nice.
you can just stay scoped in. You know what's coming. It's good in control because then you can get in that zone or be by it. You can be scoped in already.
Right.
You don't really need snapshot then because you're already scoped in. So that's a great one. Third Eye, full auto is what I run on my scouts. Zen movement again. If you can't get, sometimes you can't get the rolls that you want. You get one close enough. But Third Eye and full auto, definitely on the scout rifles. Pulse rifles, the new destroyer of PvP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've really become. You're either using hand cannons or pulse rifles as your primary. Scouts, you can use them on some maps, longer range. But if it's up, pulse does well. Medium doesn't do so well close, but medium to long, that pulse rifle is great. Some good perks for that. Again, tier 1 is your, red dot is what I'm running.
Right.
Anytime you got something like that, that's always what I'm going to run. On that tier 2, they actually have Third Eye in that in tier 2 instead of 4. So that's great again for PvP. Same reasoning. You stay scoped in, a lot easier. If you're running PvE, you're going through that magazine pretty quickly. Pulse rifles aren't great for PvE. I don't use them. Even Red Death, I don't touch it. I don't use it much in PvE. But if you are going to use it, if you got a good one and you really like it, you probably are going through bullets pretty quick. So you want something for a little bit faster reload. Feeding Frenzy is great. Outlaw, both of those get the job done. You can also use Rodeo in there to increase your stability. You really don't want that gun kicking too much. You want to be able to land that burst in a pretty much straight line. Right. So anytime you can increase your stability, you want to take that. So I would take Third Eye or Rodeo if I'm playing PvP. PvE, I'm going to go something for reload. Definitely. Same thing with the next tier. Tier 3 is basically I'm going to look at increasing my stability. So any perk that's going to do that, I would take. Reload speed, again, PvE, but stability is huge there. Tier 4, though, is really where things get good. Head Seeker is one of my favorite perks, and that's I think it's only a pulse rifle. If you land body shots, then you do increased precision damage for a while. So what you want to do, and that's the perk that it's one of my favorite. I use it on all my pulse rifles. You want to aim for almost the net, like the top of the chest. You'll hit his body first. The rest of your burst will go up. 2 bursts, then he's done. Less than 2, actually. You can give him like 1.5 if you get that Head Seeker perk. You can also use Army of 1.
I see a running theme.
I'm just saying, if you don't get Head Seeker, which is really the only perk worth using on a pulse rifle in that last tier, Army of 1, again, it's going to be on almost every gun. Very good perk. Doesn't get a lot of love. That's pretty much all your primaries. So we can start getting into special. I guess we'll start with fusion rifles. I've never rolled one.
Yeah, I've never rolled one.
So I don't know. There's a general theme of what you want to look for.
Yeah, there's this I tried for a little bit to run one because there's that urn that you can get. You have to shoot the thralls with the fusion rifle and collect the...
Oh, yeah, good times.
I was like, I'm done. I can't.
If you had a Vex Mythoclast, that'd be very easy.
Yeah.
Anytime you have like a bounty or anything that involves like getting 20 kills with a fusion rifle, just put your Vex Mythoclast on if you have it. That's like the best way to do it. But for these legendary ones, I guess for tier 2, you really just want to increase your reload speed. I mean, I don't know. Like Feeding Frenzy, I guess would work there, but tier 3, there's really only one choice. There's like accelerated coils, is what it's called. And that's where it increases or decreases your charge rate of your fusion rifle. That's really the only choice there. Tier 4, you can go rangefinder because you really want to get the most out of the range of that. Or you can use Army of One. Could definitely use Army of One on that one. And that's really, I mean, like, I haven't rolled one. I don't know if you probably haven't rolled a fusion rifle.
No.
I think some of the ones that you can get from like Trials or the Trials one, Exile's Curse, I think it's called. I think it's decent. I wouldn't know because I haven't fired it, but I have one. And it looks cool, but I have no idea what... They're just not good anymore. You can go shotguns.
Yeah, that's my preferred weapon.
It's mostly... there's a lot of people who...
Which one am I running?
Are really into shotguns. A lot of people on these are pretty much rolling for the same thing. If you look at someone's shotgun before Trials... Or if you're playing Crucible and this guy's destroying you and you feel like he shouldn't be hitting you from that far, he's probably running these perks. They're the same ones. Tier 1, it's not going to be sights this time. It's going to be bullets.
Right.
There's like aggressive or soft. Depending, you might be able to run... I can't remember if it's called... It's not called aggressive. It might be called aggressive, which increases your impact. But you should really only run that because it'll knock down your range. You should really only run that if you have some of these other ones. So tier 2 is really, there's only 2 perks. There's only 2 perks that you are looking for, in my opinion. Shot package.
I have that. I'm rolling her courtesy, and that's...
Shot package is a must. What that is when you aim in, it reduces the spread. So you're getting I'm going to be able to hit you farther with more damage.
Right.
Rangefinder's good, but you really are looking for shot package in there. And that's PvP or PvE. I know some people like to run full auto in there, which is an okay choice, but you don't, I wouldn't use full auto.
Yeah.
PvE maybe. But it almost seems worthless because you can fire those shots pretty quickly.
Yeah, when I'm using a shotgun, I'm like, because not a lot of shooters that I played have full auto shotgun, so when I'm using a shotgun, that full auto perk throws me off anyway.
It does. I forget to use it.
Yeah.
Like if I decide to bust out my Found Verdict, I'm still only like tapping it because I don't think to use it.
Right. I'm still tapping it, and so that's like a useless perk for us.
Well, and that's the thing also is that full auto. If you keep holding that down, you're gonna kick it right into the ceiling. So
yeah,
it's okay if that's your thing and you really like it, you can run with it. But shot package, definitely shot package. Tier 3. Your main goal in that one is you're looking to increase your range.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Reinforced barrel, rifled barrel.
Yeah, I'm rolling rifled barrel.
I think small bore might increase your range. And like it's gonna take it's gonna hit your stability or your reload time, but those you can take the hit. Range is all you care about. You want to be able to hit that Guardian from a pretty good distance away. Tier 4 is when you can run a lot of things in that. Final round, which is obviously the final round does more damage. Or luck in the chamber.
Yeah, I'm rolling luck in the chamber.
Some people like luck in the chamber better, but some people like final round. They like to know which bullet. Because, the clip in a shotgun, depending on what you use, if you use like small bore I know one of them decreases your magazine size. So if you're running that, you might want to use final round, but if you're running a shotgun that has 5-6 bullets in it, you really want to go luck in the chamber.
Yeah.
Because you're rarely going to get down to that last bullet. You're going to reload before then, or you're going to die. It's really one or the other. You could run Army of One. I don't know if I mentioned that. You can run Army of One on that.
I don't know if you mentioned Army of One, Brian.
Or if you're one of those ones that likes to blink around and move, you like to jack up your agility, you could run Battle Runner, which is will increase your top speed for a while. And I've seen guys do well with that, where they are you can't get a location on them because they're blinking around, they're killing you with their shotgun, they're taking off. So that one you can kind of play around with. The main ones you want though, shot package, something that's going to increase your range, and then on that last one, that last tier you can play around with a little bit. It doesn't really matter. My favorite weapon, sniper rifles. Not your favorite weapon.
Not okay. So I've been rolling. What is it? Her Benevolence or something.
Her Benevolence is a good sniper.
That's the one that I've been working on leveling, and I've been running that in strikes and when I'm doing bounties and stuff.
It's got decent impact. You can use that in PvE.
Yeah, I do like using that a little bit in PvE just because I'm not the best sniper by any means.
I mean, there's plenty of people who are very, very good at stick, can easily outsnipe me, but I'd like to think I'm up there.
So, like, I like to practice sniping especially when I'm running bounties, just taking out some dregs or whatever. But that's the sniper I'm rolling with, so let's get into those perks.
Her Benevolence is a very good one. That's my go-to, and especially I used this spear for a little bit with the final round. That's really cheap. They're getting rid of that though, so thank goodness. Now I'm running Her Benevolence or the Eye of Soul. The Trials one is really good too, if you can get your hands on that. And this one, the first tier is actually very important. That's your scope. Usually in the first one, it's not going to make or break your roll. You can usually use, pulse rifles and stuff, there's always going to be a red dot. I think there's like 2 variations or something, but there's always going to be a red dot. But with the sniper rifle, it's very important. I'm going to list 3, my favorite, that you really want to look for. The first one is the short gaze. All of these are going to be very similar. They're all short range. You don't, because I'm playing PvP mostly, and that's what I'm looking for. I mean, there are a couple medium to long range. The long view, I can't remember which one. There's like 2 long views. It's good. It's a farther range one, but you don't want that in PvP. You want a short scope because you might have to take out a guy medium range. You know what I mean? You don't know when you're going to need it. You can pop it up quick. Short gaze is my favorite for PvP. Second one is ambush. The ambush one is very similar. It's agile, snappy scope. That one has a low aim assist though. The short gaze will actually add to your aim assist, I think, like 15 to 20%. The ambush will actually decrease your aim assist. So if you're one that doesn't like aim assist and you feel like it throws off your snipe, look for the ambush. That's one of the best ones if you're not a fan of it. The third one, which is more of a mid-range scope, is called the Taxis SLS 15. Mid-range, good aim assist, it's very decent. I use that on one of them, but mostly I'm looking for short gaze or ambush. Very good scopes. Tier 2, if you're playing PvP, I'm using Hidden Hand. Again, and this is the gun where I think you really see it help. When you're sniping in, you're looking for that headshot. There's been plenty of times where I've used it and it doesn't feel like you're going to get a headshot and it gives it to you, and I think the Hidden Hand is really helping with that. Some people like Clown Cartridge. I'm not into it. It's I think when you reload, you have a chance to get like an extra round or something. Most people, just because the special ammo is so scarce in PvP, you're looking for any way to get ammo at all. Sometimes you're waiting over a minute for special ammo. I don't like that they changed that. I get why they did it, but sometimes I'm running around. I just want some sniper ammo. So that's why some people are looking to add perks on like that. But I say Hidden Hand, PvP is what you're looking for. Tier 3, Snapshot. You want to aim that scope in quick. If you can quick scope, you want to be able to get it in there quick, get that shot off. But my favorite perk, and this creates some of the best moments, is armor-piercing rounds. You get armor-piercing rounds, you're able to kill more than one Guardian with one shot. It creates some pretty amazing moments. There's been a few times where in trials, I've taken out 2 people with the same bullet. It feels amazing. It feels good when you take out 2. Crazy. Oh, it's so cool. So that one, Snapshot's what I'm looking for, but armor piercing, if you get that and you're a good sniper, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. It's situational, but it's a good time. 2 of the other ones that you might like, hand laid stock, injection mold. It's going to increase your stability. Those are good on sniper rifles that shoot fast. You don't get kick, so you can land 2 body shots. It's kind of like Praetor's Revenge. If you've seen that gun used, you can pop off 2 body shots pretty boom boom. So because it doesn't kick at all, the stability's maxed out. Quick draw is also very good. It increases your draw speed and aiming down the sight. So it almost works like Snapshot. It's a poor man's Snapshot, pretty much. Tier 4, unflinching. Now, I don't know how many times you've had a sniper out and you've been getting shot at, and your sniper will kick and you'll miss your shot.
Yeah.
And it kind of pisses you off a little bit.
A little bit.
Unflinching, right there. It saved my life so many times. I'll be getting shot at. You'll still get a little kick, because, I mean, you're getting shot at. You know?
Yeah.
But it's easier to fire off those shots while getting hit. That's easily... On my snipers, I'm running ambush or short gaze, hidden hand, unflinching, and then whatever I can get in Tier 3. Snapshot's preferred, but I'll run armor piercing, injection mold, something like that. You could also use in Tier 4 performance bonus, and this is for PvP.
Right.
And what that is when you get a kill, it has a chance to generate ammo. I don't like when there's only a chance to generate ammo.
Yeah.
I would rather know for a fact that I'm going to get it. You could also use Grenader, poor man's version of Army of One, but kills reduce your grenade. Anything where you can get your grenade faster, I'm a fan.
Right. I got a perk like that on one of my armor pieces.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can pair your armor, and we'll do armor. We'll talk about armor and that's a different episode completely. You can start pairing your armor and your guns where, if you have a gun where,
we actually have a few questions people wrote in.
Right. Well,
pairing weapons with armor, which we'll talk about.
Right, but you could get a kill and it'll decrease your grenade. You can use a grenade that decreases your melee, and then your melee can decrease your grenade. It's just it's a circle, and you kind of want to play off your other stuff. You could also use, and I haven't used this much, but I think it's actually kind of interesting. It's called Replenish, and this is also a new one from House of Wolves, where if you cast your super, it refills your magazine.
Oh, really? So
that would be a PvP. You're out of sniper ammo. You can't find a freaking box to save your life. Cast your super, bam. You got a full. I think it refills it completely. I don't know. I haven't used it. I'll have to look into that. But I might. You could run that, but unflinching, obviously, what you want. And those are pretty much. I think that's it for the special. So we can go right into heavy.
Yeah.
Rocket launchers. Rocket launchers are pretty easy. They're very easy to roll for. The other ones are a little more complicated. There's specific things you're looking for, and there's also a lot more choices. So sometimes you'll be sitting there and I don't know how many motes of light you're going to go through. Hopefully you have a lot. But rocket launchers are easy. Tier 1, you just don't do anything that's going to decrease your velocity or impact. Or blast radius. Sorry, it's blast radius on that. Those are the only two things that matter. Rate of fire on a rocket launcher does not matter. Stability does not matter. Reload, PvE you might care, but that's not huge. The big things you want, tripod. You want to hold 3 rockets, right? You want to be able to fire 3 rockets without having to reload. So that's what I'm always looking for. I don't know if you're the one that you just got. I don't know if it has it.
Yeah, I don't
Dreamwaker?
know. I just got it, 2 days ago, and I haven't been on to look at the perks yet.
I know. I think tomorrow's answer is.
I don't.
Obviously, and these are guns that you can't reroll. You can't reroll trials. You can't reroll. You can reroll the Queen's weapons, right? Like Herb and Owens. Yeah. So you can reroll that, but you can't reroll trials, Prison of Elder, anything before House of Wolves. Can't reroll any of those. So tripod is what you want. Tier 3, the only thing that you're focusing on there is you want to boost whatever is the weakest out of blast radius and velocity. If it's one that has good velocity, you want to boost it with blast radius. So heavy payload will do that. That'll increase your blast radius. If it's one with weak velocity, you're looking for javelin. And I'm always looking to increase velocity. Blast radius is cool, but since I play PvP, I want that rocket to get there fast. I don't want to wait around. Tier 4, all depends on what you're playing. If you're building one for PvE, tracking's PvE.
Oh, yeah, tracking.
You can use it in PvP, but I go grenades and horseshoes. Proximity. People are jumping around a lot, so if it gets close, you want that rocket to go off. We'll go into machine guns just a little bit. I think I rolled the BTRD. That's a very good machine gun from the Crucible. The BTRD that you can get from playing Crucible. It's got insane stability. It's almost maxed out. A machine gun with a maxed out stability it's not as good as a rocket launcher, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Counterbalance is one that you can run in tier 2, and that's one. If you got a high rate of fire, you want to counterbalance. Increase the stability. Spray and play, which I actually am surprised I haven't. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. But it's good on some of them. I don't know if it's on everything, but it's good on this because when your magazine is empty, you reload faster. So spray and play is huge. Tier 3, casket mag. You want more bullets. Yeah. So casket mag. Tier 4, crowd control is amazing because it's very, you get that first kill and then you can just mow down some people. It's very nice. Feeding frenzy works. Rangefinder could also work there to increase your range. And that is it for the weapons, what you're looking for in your legendaries. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you want that fits your playstyle.
Wow, that's hopefully you guys can take that information.
A lot of information.
There's a lot
of information.
I mean, that's kind of why...
You can pause, go back, type deal.
Yeah,
so.
This is kind of why I brought you in here, though, because this is like your expertise is all this stuff. So,
well, I've rolled a lot of them. I've played around, and you know what? I'll tell you a good way to if you're playing Crucible and you're playing against someone who's just destroying you. I always check out what weapon they're using, and more importantly, what perks they have on it. If it's not an exotic, I always will check it out and see. Now, sometimes it's the perks. More time than not, it's the guy using it. But those perks can help. So if you get into a match and this guy's just tearing it up with a hopscotch or some sort of pulse rifle, you check it out. I'm sure he has some of the perks that I talked about today, like Head Seeker, stuff like that. But that's a good way if you don't like the ones that I suggested today.
All right. We had a lot of, like we said before, we had a lot of questions that you guys wrote in that revolved around the subject, so we tried to cover most of the questions that were written in this. We just thought we'd just make it a topic, and it's a good topic. It's something that I personally needed to learn a lot about all this stuff, and it's obvious a lot of people that are in the DNA community page and Twitter and stuff have asked us for. So it's kind of why we did a whole topic of it. You want to move into questions?
Yeah, we can definitely move into questions. I think people have a lot of questions about Reforging because you just want to go in with the best weapon that you can.
Right. Especially if you're doing Iron Banner.
And sometimes you can't get those exotics, but you can get these legendaries. Try out that Hawkmoon Jr.
Yeah.
And they can be good substitutes, especially if you roll them correctly and they play to your play style, then you'll be effective.
Yeah. So we're gonna. For that Hawkmoon Jr., we're going to write down what that is and put it on our website and feature it in our community page. So check out our community page or our website. It'll be there if you want to roll that, especially you Xbox players that don't have Hawkmoon yet.
Hawkmoon Jr., yeah. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing.
Later in
the Fulcrum is going to take over.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but it would be cool.
All right, we're going to move into reader questions. So, Michael, I hope we covered your question. It was all about Reforging.
I think it got covered. I think he's got the information that he needs. Yeah.
So we're going to move on to Mohammed's question. Is it smart to re-roll a weapon just for specific modes like Iron Banner and Trials, or is it better to separate weapons, PvE and PvP weapons, and reforge accordingly?
I mean, I think we talked about that too. You're clearly rolling for a specific purpose. Most of the time it's going to be for PvP. You're going to use the guns that you're going to use in PvE are guns that are set already that you can't roll. Baitbringer, Vision of Confluence, even the Trials, the Adept Trials weapons, I think hold up very well in like Prison of Elders. The Scholar, the Jewel of Osiris, those set guns, they've put really good perks on them already. Like I think the Messenger has basically the ones I talked about. I think it has Third Eye, Head Seeker, and its stability's maxed almost. So that's pretty much the ideal, So those hold up in PvE. But you can still like snipers. You can roll Her Benevolence for a PvE purpose because it holds up. It's got really good impact, but most of the time you're gonna roll for PvP. That's pretty much why you're gonna roll these for, and hopefully they'll hold up.
Yeah, like I said, I've been rolling some weapons. Like I've been leveling them up through PvE because I'm not very good at Crucible, and I haven't had a chance to do Iron Banner or Trials yet because my weapons aren't up to par.
Oh, we're gonna play some Iron Banner.
So,
it's going on right now.
Right, it is.
Yes, it's going on this week. So,
oh man,
you got till Tuesday, and and they're selling Timmer's Lash, which is one of the ones that you can turn into the Hawkman Jr. So, you should get Timmer's Lash. It's a good one. The impact is insane. So, reload is really slow. That could be a problem. I don't know what the Fulcrum's reload is, but you're going to go through those 5 bolts real fast.
Sounds like Fulcrum's the way to go.
I think Fulcrum's the best. This. Yes. But Ill Will's really good too, and Timmer's Lash isn't bad. I mean, I think, but that is being sold. They're also selling the Spear this week, but Final Round isn't working anymore, so that one's still really good. I would get a Spear, and I would roll that for PvE purpose. It has a really high impact, same as Black Hammer. You put armor piercing on it, it's got the highest impact, I think, out of any sniper. So, definitely, you can get that, roll that one PvE, Timmers, Hawkman Jr.
Nice. So we're going to move away from the Reforging questions and just do a more general Destiny questions. Ray from Phoenix Overdrive. Can't say enough good things about that group. I was on their show last weekend, so if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check out their stuff and their Extra Life stuff.
Very good stuff from them.
Yeah, we actually talked about doing a 24-hour marathon Extra Life thing with them and for them. So
very cool stuff.
So look forward to that. But he writes in, is Bungie and Activision truly trying to make amends with its longest supporters with the recent news of pre-order incentives for the Taken King, or is it too little too late, or is it a band-aid to mask over the dev pub game issues overall?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can say about this situation. I think Bungie kind of just put themselves in a corner, and they didn't know what else to do with the release of the collector's edition, which is $60, and you get everything. Correct? You get the the game
for $60. You get Destiny, you get The Dark Below, you get House of Wolves,
right,
and the Taken King for $60.
For $60, is it 60 or is it 80? Is it 60? It's got to be 60.
It's 60, and then if you get, maybe the collector's edition is 80, and then you get those shaders and stuff.
I think it's 60. Well, anyway, so they put out now that if you just, like you and me, we've been around since year one. It's just $40, I believe, for the pre-order. But that and if you pre-order now, there's like the Suros Arsenal pack. They're adding a lot of things to try to help.
But then you get into that situation where, are these just retailer exclusives? Is like Amazon going to sell one sort of weapon pack and GameStop going to sell a different weapon pack for this?
Yeah, it's kind of confusing because I thought I heard that the Suros was GameStop only, and now it's not.
It's not?
I think if you just pre-order it, like if I went home right now and I pre-ordered the Taken King, I think I get access to that pack. I'm not sure, but we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll look into that. I don't know. This just, I don't blame Bungie for this. It's more Activision thing.
I feel like this seems like an Activision thing, doesn't it?
When Bungie was making Halo, they always had, they were giving out free maps. Yeah, they were doing things for Halo that, they obviously aren't allowed to do with Destiny because of Activision, for better or worse. I'm not trying to put anybody down here, but
no.
Activision does the same thing with Call of Duty every year. So,
well, gosh, you see microtransactions like crazy on Call of Duty. You pay $1.99 for skins on your gun. That's just.
And now they want you to pay on top of this $20 for those extra.
Yeah, there's 9 extra items. There's 3 emotes, which is I think like the dancing. You get like an extra dance. I don't know. 3 shaders, which I haven't seen what they look like. They might look really cool. I don't know. And then 3 class items. Let's think, if you don't like it, the best way to support this, don't buy it.
It's true.
If
speak with your wallet, people.
Exactly. If you see someone walk around with this shader and you're like, oh my god, I have to have that shader. I've never said that. I've never seen someone in a shader and been like, man, I would pay $20 for that shader.
Yeah, I have a hard time paying Glimmer for a shader.
It's very true. And Glimmer, so I do agree with that. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I do feel like it is too little, too late, but they backed themselves in a corner. They had to do something to equal out the prices.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess. I mean,
with the amount of money that they spent on developing this game, they have to make their money back somewhere. Not that,
I'm sure
it
they
hasn't
made their money back.
I'm sure they've made their money back, but like Activision is very open about, they're a business, and
well, it is a business,
and like they're all about making money. They've come out and said, it's not worth making a game if we can't annualize it or do something every year for it. Call of Duty, for example. Destiny looks to be not doing the same thing that Call of Duty is doing, but expansions are coming out, 6 months apart.
Well, I mean, Destiny's supposed to be, like a 10-year game?
Yeah.
So the expansions will keep coming. I'm glad they don't do microtransactions, which would be another topic of another day, but that would ruin Destiny if they ever did microtransactions. If you could just go and buy a galley
people would
for $5, what's the I mean, that would kill the game. So they'll never do that. The fact that they're doing this $20 thing is just, I think they just got put in a bad situation, and this was their solution. It's a no-win.
I mean, maybe if it was $10, like,
well, they got to close the gap on the prices. They
I know, but like you can go and
one can't get more than the other.
If you go on Xbox Live or PSN, you can buy whole games for less than $20. Like it's just it's just the fact that this is a small cosmetic thing that you can go and like buy these within the game,
and they're charging you $20. And that's what I'm saying. Don't buy it. I don't think I am, and that's the thing. Just show them with your wallet that you're not happy with this, and I don't know how much they'll care, but Bungie might. But
yeah,
it is like a Band-Aid. I agree. So
speak with your wallet, guys. Just that's all I can say. It can't be said enough.
Unless it's like an amazing shader. I don't know what I don't know what colors you could put together that would make me spend $20.
Shaders, all right. I got Chatter White.
Chatter White's not that sweet.
I think it looks sweet.
All right. Well,
I like it, especially with that stupid helmet that I have right now.
I'm just saying, there's so many in the game already. There's just not one that I'm going to see and feel the need to have it right then and there.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, so Shaniqua White writes in, now if you're part of the DNA community, Shaniqua, that's not his real name. He just made a Facebook to start his podcast group. It's really funny. It's just a big inside joke. So if you want to know the inside joke, join the community page. But
I thought that was actually his name. No. I was a little concerned for a little bit.
No, he just didn't want to get on Facebook but to promote his podcast and stuff. The Platinum Achievement Podcast, which is actually really hilarious.
Well, now I do think it's funny.
Yeah. So like the Platinum Achievement Podcast is just a hilarious podcast. You should listen to it. But he writes in, I've got a silly noobish question. I've been playing Destiny. I'm in the early double digits for level. I feel like I'm still trying to figure out how the game works. Not the mechanics. He gets that part, shooting aliens, stuff like that. But I guess I need to know more of a breakdown of how I should progress. Should I play the story missions? What comes after that to get me to a raid level? Should I go and enter the Crucible? Things like that. Now, this is exactly where I stopped playing.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people back before the DLC. Right, this was a lot different. This was a lot different back then.
So I stopped when I hit level 20, and then when Dark Below came out, I started playing a little bit more. I got myself up to level 24.
And you stopped again.
And then I stopped again because I was stuck in this place. Well, I don't want to play the story missions, but I'm not a high enough level to play the raids. But there's not enough strikes for me to do. It's just getting boring, so I stopped. And then they nerfed the armor through an update, and I dropped back down to level 22, which really made me mad.
Well, I mean, they changed the light levels.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant. But, like, that's where I stopped, and I had the same issue. And then you and me started talking a couple months ago, and I really wanted to come back in, so you kind of brought me up and helped me get to where I am now, which I'm now max level. And
I think proud of that. I think we got you to 34 in less than a week.
Yeah,
from 24 to 34.
Well, I got to 32 in less than a week, and then the following week, I got an etheric light, and then I got the boots.
It took a while once we got you up there, but this is a lot simpler to answer now than it would have been before the Dark Below or anything like that. Because before you were stuck in this, like, I'm just calling it like a void, where it's like, okay, I beat the story missions. There's no point in playing them again unless you have a bounty for it. And, I mean, you're not getting any extra XP for running a level multiple times. You know, you can run the strikes, but, you know, that gets boring after a while. It's the same strike. And there weren't, I mean, so I was stuck in the same situation where I would get on and I would just do the bounties pretty much. And then, like, run some strikes, and I would get off. This was before I could raid. I think I was a 24, 25, something like that. You kind of just, like, and this is back, I don't know if he has the DLCs or not. I don't think it matters, though, because you can just buy the armor. So what I would suggest is, if you've beaten all the story missions, which should put you up around 20, you need to start building up your Vanguard rank and get those Vanguard marks, and you can buy armor from either the Vanguard or the... If you would rather play Crucible, you can get it from the Crucible guy. Those have, I think, 36 light on them already.
Yeah, I know the Crucible ones do.
So all armor that you buy from, like, the Vanguard, the Future Roar Call, all that stuff, they all have 36 light. So that's going to jack you up pretty high. And then you would just, once you get that, you'll be in the 30s. If you build that up, once you're in the 30s, you can start running raids, and you can start running Prison of Elders. You can't really play Trials yet. You'll get destroyed if you're less than a 33.
Yeah.
I mean, so what I would do is just get that Vanguard rank up by running strikes, doing your bounties every day that you can, and eventually you'll be able to buy that armor, get that up, then you'll be able to do the end game content, which is really what the game's all about. I mean, it's not about the story.
Right. It's what story?
Exactly. I mean, you play this game like the story missions is almost to me like it's the tutorial of the whole game, and then it's like, all right, now you're ready to play the game.
Right.
The game is the raids and prison and all that stuff. That's the game.
Yeah, and like, you know, what you helped me do and what I helped a few friends this weekend do was, you know, it's always better to play with people that you know.
Wow.
And run the strikes with them, and that way, like, okay, say like, you know, you and David helped me run some Nightfalls when I was about 27-ish.
Yeah, we had to carry, and we had to drag you through that one.
Yeah, they basically drug me through the mud, but like, it helped me level up and get to where I'm at now. So if you have higher level friends that are willing to help you, that's an easy way too. That's how we did it.
Well, and I want to speak highly of the Destiny community. I feel like it's very, very helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the first time I ever did a raid, I did it with 5 other guys that I didn't know. I found them on the forums page on the Destiny Companion app, and they were great. You might not always get this, but I mean, you just need to be honest and tell people, I haven't done this before.
Right.
I don't really know what I'm doing. Do some research on these, the raids. I looked up. I had an idea of what to do, but they will help you.
Yeah.
People will help you get through stuff, especially now that people are so powerful at 34. Running a Vault of Glass as a 34 versus, the first time I went through a Vault of Glass, I was at 25.
Yeah, I was 26 when you guys
and
through it.
The weapons I had when I went through it then are certainly not the ones I have now that can do 365. They were doing like 300 damage.
Yeah.
It was, and it was still a blast. I had a great time, but...
Yeah, even though, like, when we ran Vault of Glass the first time, I was 26. My weapon sucked, but it was a blast.
Oh, it's so much fun.
The raids, even, people in the DNA community page, the Fireteam Chat community group from IGN, the PS4 community, Destiny community on Facebook, all those guys are willing to help too. I found guys in there that I play with regularly now that will totally help you out. So, look at the forums, look at the groups,
don't be afraid to ask for help. It's hard to get up there by yourself.
I know it seems scary to ask for help, and like the general consensus is people will be mean to you, but they really won't.
No, and that's the thing. Before I played Destiny, I never went outside my group of friends in real life to play games with. I never looked for people to play Call of Duty. You met some people, very rarely, at least in my opinion, that I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to play with these guys all the time. Yeah. In I have over 200 and some friends from Destiny alone.
Yeah.
And a lot of them I play with almost on a regular basis. I run trials with the same guys every weekend that I met from the forums and we play every weekend, and we have a great time. I mean, people are very, very helpful.
Yeah,
I think very highly of the Destiny community.
Yeah, and I think it's just the Bungie community as a whole.
Yeah,
It's like that was the same way for Halo 3 when we played for a little bit, and then I played a little bit longer than you did.
Yeah,
you moved on to Call of Duty, but but it's just don't be afraid to ask.
Well, I think it's it's the way that the game's created. You need 6 players you did need 6 players for a raid. Now you can do it with less, but you had to sometimes reach out. Or you weren't gonna be able to do these things. So very, very cool. Don't be scared, and you'll be up to 34 in no time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, our last question comes from Megan. She's a regular watcher of our stuff. She was one of our first subscribers on YouTube. She's listened to all of our podcasts. She writes in all the time. So,
big shout out to Megan.
Yeah. What do you think of the new weapons that Bungie just kind of showed off? The Suros weapons are her personal favorite based off look alone. So, Brian, you want to kind of talk about these new weapons?
Well, I mean, all I know about them really is the design of them. And then the one you might have to help me with is Haka.
Yeah, Haka.
Haka is one of them. Those ones look cool. You can go to Destiny and check these out yourself. Like I said, I don't know what they do. They kind of have a military look to them.
Yeah.
Versus like a futuristic. They look more military to me. Shotgun looks really cool. But it looks like pulse rifle looks, and I think that's Haka. My favorite are Amalon.
Yeah, the Amalon weapons look sick.
Amalon looks basically
that scout rifle.
If you look at the hard light, and if you like the design of the hard light, I feel like these guns were taken from that family.
Yeah,
and I think they were. They look energy based. But those look very cool. The scout rifle, the sniper looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
I think it looks really, really cool. Yeah. Those are my favorite.
They look clean. Their design looks clean.
They all look. I mean, they all. Well, the Haka isn't.
The Haka looks more like something you would find in like.
It looks almost like a Call of Duty almost, with like no skin on it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna put one on later or not. Amalon, she likes the Suros. The Suros has a very sleek, futuristic. It looks like fiberglass feel to it. They look cool. I don't know how they're going to perform. So obviously, like we will tell, but just by the look of them, I'm very excited.
It almost looks like Apple designed these weapons.
Oh, the Suros ones, they do. Oh man, they do look like Apple just decided. You know what? I'm gonna make some Destiny weapons.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the Tony Stark route and start blowing things up. Yeah. The scout rifle looks sick. The barrel looks amazing on the Suros. Rocket launcher's cool, very sleek, very good design. But Amalon, I think is my favorite.
Yeah,
then Suros. Haka's.
I mean, if you're into like.
Well, I think Haka might. I have a feeling that those ones will like do the highest damage.
Yeah.
So those ones might perform the best. And obviously, at the end of the day, I don't care I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah. If
it's going to give me the best chance to do well, I'm going to use that. So I might end up using Hawk. I think it's cool that they're going with like a family of guns.
Yeah, like they're actually making like factions of like families of weapons.
Right.
Like, okay, well, because I know a lot of people like to collect these weapons and put them in their vault.
Of course.
Okay, I'm going to go try to find all the Suros weapons and just throw them in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another thing we need to talk about, vault space.
I'm sure they will increase it.
Yeah.
Before.
That's all the listener questions we have. Anything else you want to talk about, Brian? Real quick.
Not this week. We'll have plenty. We should save something for next week.
Yeah, I mean this is going to be a weekly show. We are a weekly show on YouTube. You can also find this video on our website at digitalnerdadvocates.com. You can subscribe to us, the DNA Network, on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher. Those are very popular podcast services, so you can find our audio there, but it's really worth watching. We got a lot of cool stuff set up here. But remember, you can follow us on Twitter at DN Advocates, and you can find us on Facebook at the DNA Community page, facebook.com/groups/DNA Community page. And if you have any questions for us, you can tweet at us, place it on the DNA Community page, digitalnerdadvocates@gmail.com. you can email us. That's the most popular route, it seems like. But yeah, until next time, we're out.
Good hunting, Guardians.